Greetings, folks, and welcome to Command Chains of War. I'm Epired, and this is the push scenario. Now, I think every campaign in Command has that scenario. You know what I'm talking about? That scenario. The one that's poorly designed and you can't possibly win. Well, if there ever was that scenario in Chains of War, it would be push. But luckily, there is a way to win it. So, intelligence collection in the modern world is not always about finding a needle in a haystack, but rather finding a needle in a pile of needles. Intelligence agencies, and to a lesser extent media organizations, now have thousands, if not millions, of data points to sort through, analyze, correlate, and report to an audience that demands near instant results to make decisions. This is largely why the United States and its allies failed to see beyond the Vietnamese attack to greater Chinese ambitions in the Pacific at the start of the Great War. The first line of defense in the Pacific for the better part of a decade was the U.S. submarine force. Despite drawbacks, decommissioning, considerable pull from war on terror operations worldwide, the U.S. Pacific Fleet managed to position forces to act as invisible sentinels ready to respond quickly to Chinese aggression and movements. It was the only force largely available and positioned well at war start, and would be regarded historically as the U.S. ace in the hole in critical battles to come. Let's do this. Okay. Command has received information that two Type 94 Jane-class ballistic missile submarines have just sorted from Sanya Naval Base. You are to move toward Hainan Island, where you are to detect and trail these strategic assets while remaining undetected. Timeline: 1 day. Rules of engagement: only fire if fired upon unless otherwise ordered. Threat: Command expects PLAN forces to follow standard operating procedures for SSBN sorties. Expect 1 to 2 SSN escorts, surface forces on ASW patrol, and significant ASW MPA fixed-wing and helicopter patrols. Their objective is to defend the SSBNs and screen their entry into open waters where they can more readily hide and carry out their deterrent patrols. Normal order of battle, don't much care, but the assets are the Connecticut and the Santa Fe. Let's do this. So, let's unpause and pause real quickly. Okay, we have the elevator strip up here. Okay. So, the Chi-Coms have two sonar buoy lines of defense, one that spreads right along here and one that spreads right along here. So let's maneuver these submarines to evade them. Let's get the Connecticut to go just over the layer at flank speed, and let's get the Santa Fe to move here, here, and here, move just over the layer at flank speed. And let's do this. Let's unpause time, see what happens. There's not much going to happen. Okay, so the Connecticut has gotten past the sonar buoy layer. Let's get it to sprint and drift at 20 knots. Oh shit. U.S. Pacific Command under missile attack from Chinese forces. Significant damage across the region. My orders are to destroy the Chinese SSBNs in my area of responsibility and conduct a coordinated T-LAM strike against Wade Island air facilities. Okay. So, 120, 102. Let's stop the sprinting drift, go to creep speed, shallow. Creep speed, shallow. Okay, so let's get this guy to, let's not attack the runway. How many tomahawks do we have? 12 plus 8 is 20. So we have 40 tomahawks. Okay, let's allocate 20 plus 12 is 32. 32 divided by 4 is 8. So yeah, let's allocate 8 tomahawks to each of the hangars. Let's pack these guys over here. The point is to get all the tomahawks to arrive at the same time. Okay, let's get the Santa Fe to go back to just over the layer of flank speed. Let's look at the Connecticut. Let's go back to just over the layer, sprint and drift. 20 knots until it to avoid cavitation. Okay, so let's see the damage we've done. We've taken out all of the hangars. Okay. Let's move on forward. Okay. So Santa Fe is in position. Let's get it to sprint and drift at 20 knots. Actually, let's path the Santa Fe to follow much the same pattern as the Connecticut. Move on forward. Goblin detected by the Connecticut. Okay. Let's take a look at it. It's a ballistic missile sub. Let's get the Connecticut over to intercept it. Okay. Let's turn off the sprint and drift. Get the Connecticut to go at flank speed. And let's get the Connecticut down to a creep. Goblin detected by the Connecticut. It's a ballistic missile sub. Okay. So let's get the Connecticut up to cruise speed. And let's bring the Santa Fe down here to help intercept these guys. Okay, the Connecticut has fired on this gym. Let's get it down to a creep speed. Ooh, we found the other SSBN. And we've ID'd it. Okay, so I've won, but not quite yet. Let's get the Connecticut up to cruise. Engine is only going 5 knots. Actually, let's tell the Connecticut to hold its fire. Okay, we're getting closer to the gin. And slow the Connecticut down to creep speed. And fire on the gin. That guy's just clueless. And he's not anymore. Okay, so now we just sunk half of the Chinese ballistic missile submarine fleet. So, triumph, 1,400 points. I didn't lose anything. PLA lines lost White Cub, 3 Dolphins, 4 Hangars, and 2 Jets. So, yeah, I think that was a fairly successful result. This is Everreg, signing off.